The financial press is currently fixated on a narrative of Vietnam losing a data center race to Malaysia, specifically to the massive hyperscale hubs popping up in Johor. That comparison, however, ignores the actual rules of engagement. Johor operates as a regional annex for Singapore. They provide the vast tracts of land and cheap electricity required to host the server farms for global giants like AWS, Microsoft, and Google. The physical demands of those hyperscale models are immense. Training the world's largest AI systems requires chaining together tens of thousands of GPUs and running them at maximum capacity 24/7. Vietnam operates on a different strategic battlefield. Under the National Data Localization Laws of Decree 53, specific categories of public and corporate data are legally required to remain within national borders. They hit a domestic firewall and stay there. This legal reality means evaluating Vietnam based on the sheer square footage of its warehouses is a distraction for investors. Success here depends on building a self-reliant domestic AI brain. It is about securing digital sovereignty so that Vietnam's most critical data processing never relies on foreign infrastructure. Vietnam is deploying a dual-engine strategy to build that sovereign infrastructure. The first pillar is state-aligned, focusing on national security and public data. Viettel, the military-run telecom, leads this effort. They are currently rolling out massive Tier 3 facilities, including a 140-megawatt campus in Tan Phu Trung and the operational Hoa Loc 2 site in Hanoi. This infrastructure is purpose-built for the state's most sensitive data: national citizen databases, digital government services, and healthcare records. Domestic control of this hardware is a prerequisite for national cybersecurity. It allows Vietnam to develop large language models tailored to its own language and legal frameworks without exposing that data to external threats. Viettel's capital expenditure functions as a strategic shield. It ensures that the computing power required to run the country's essential services remains firmly inside domestic borders. The second pillar of the strategy focuses on commercial enterprise applications. This is the engine led by FPT. FPT is developing an AI factory model integrating advanced NVIDIA HGX B300 and H100 chips directly into their proprietary cloud infrastructure. Instead of a single monolithic cluster, FPT employs a B2B model. They lease cloud GPU capacity to domestic and regional enterprises, allowing those companies to utilize AI reasoning without purchasing the high-cost hardware themselves. This infrastructure also powers an export pipeline. FPT engineers use it to build and sell high-margin software services like automotive simulations and AI-driven automation to clients in Japan, Korea, and across the ASEAN market. FPT's strategy is built on converting high-depreciation physical hardware into recurring, high-margin commercial cash flow from global enterprises. Scaling those capabilities depends on solving raw physical bottlenecks. The single largest constraint is grid stability. Securing green energy power purchase agreements is a strict necessity for these projects. To meet global ESG standards and attract international clients, operators must prove their energy sourcing is sustainable. Inside the facility, high-density AI racks create another engineering challenge. The heat generated by these chips makes advanced liquid cooling systems a mandatory requirement for stable operation. For investors, this structure requires a specific framework. AI data centers involve massive upfront capital expenditure, and those assets are immediately hit by heavy technological depreciation. The long-term return relies on the steady climb of recurring operational revenue. Because of this capital cycle, the most immediate financial beneficiaries are often the spillover sectors. The mechanical and electrical contractors, power distribution companies, and industrial real estate firms capture the initial wave of spending before the software services fully mature. Vietnam's AI strategy prioritizes a dual mandate, securing digital independence for the state while generating real enterprise cash flow from the ground up.